apart from the ordinary. Find them at St. Barnabas Health System.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
It's now time for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale. The phone lines are open at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. You can also watch live on the WBVP-WMBA Facebook page. Here is your host, Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. He's ready to take your calls at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Also, make sure you check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. They do roofing replacement, windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior remodeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. Ryan, let's start off with the big news.
Oh, there's big news.
Yes, the big news of the day.
All right.
Tanner McKee is the backup for the Eagles quarterback, taking over Small Hands.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow. Is it because of competition? He beat him out and...
Well, I think I could beat out Small Hands. Kenny Pickett is now third string over the Philadelphia Eagles. That's not really the news, but I thought that would be kind of funny to start off with that. Brandon Ayuk, the 26-year-old, is coming to Pittsburgh. I guess it hasn't been in writing yet. I guess they're still figuring out the details. Ryan, do you know anything about these details?
No. As far as the last thing that I heard was they were still hammering it out. They had made a verbal agreement. I heard some previous rumors of what the trade itself was going to be, what was involved. But what I had seen most recently was not consistent with that. So I'm not quite sure on all the details yet, Bryan. But as I know right now, via one of the guys up in Pittsburgh on the radio, they did make a verbal agreement, and they are working on hammering out the details.
Yes, Ayuk was a rookie in the COVID season, had 60 catches, 748 yards. In 21, he had 56 catches, 826 yards. 2022, he had 78 catches for 1,015 yards. And last season, he had 75 catches for 1,342 yards and a 17.9 yards per catch.
How many of those yards were against Pittsburgh in Week 1? I want to know that.
I want to say 1,341 of them. I think he had 1 yard after that. Yes, so I guess the second highest catch rating is Brandon Ayuk, and he's coming to Pittsburgh. I guess they're figuring out the details, and I don't know if anybody has any news as this show goes on. Please fill us in. We'll be checking our phones and checking everything out. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have needed a number one wide receiver ever since they got rid of run backwards Deontay Johnson. Everybody wanted Pickens to pick it up and take the number one slot. But here's the situation. If Ayuk comes in and you have George Pickens as your number 2/number 1 or 1B or whatever you want to call him, instead of him getting double teamed all the time, it's going to be, pick your poison on defense. How would you stop both guys outside, Ryan?
One real quick thing. I did get a friend of the show just called and said what they understand from Ray Fittipaldo is that
Ray Fittipaldo is wonderful, does excellent work.
Absolutely. What I just learned was it's in the air. It is a verbal agreement, but the number one pick that the San Francisco 49ers want is what is at stake. That is what's keeping things from being sealed right now. Apparently, they want a number one mixed in with the deal. The Steelers do not want to give up a number one pick.
Well, just give them the Ravens number one. They can have that one.
Right. So, as far as what was that? Came from Ray Filippo from a friend of the show. Just called in. That's the update that I have as of right now.
Okay, so basically, the holdup isn't the numbers that the Steelers are trying to negotiate with Ayuk for, an extension or whatever. The holdup is between the 49ers and the Steelers on what they're getting compensated with, I guess.
From what I understand, yes, that's what's going on right now. San Fran wants a number one pick. The Steelers don't want to give it up.
What number one pick we should have given them was Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I don't know the year on the one pick they want. I don't know any details beyond that, but that is what I know at the moment.
Now, if you're Brandon Ayuk,
yes.
Okay, you're going to come here, let's just say hypothetically, you have a future Hall of Famer going to be throwing to you all season.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts for next year?
As far as for Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, like who's throwing you the ball?
Well,
what's going on there?
I mean, there's certainly the answer isn't etched in stone, of course. I mean, you bring in two quarterbacks who have been starters around the league. One has been very successful, and the other one, has potential. And you bring both of these guys in on a one-year deal. That tells me that they have no idea at this point what that next move is going to be.
Yes, from what I've been on, I've been trying to figure out what the Steelers have been doing this entire offseason. And basically what I've been told by some insiders is it's a 2-year plan. They're not trying. I mean, obviously you want to contend every year, but they knew that it was going to take 2 years to actually put together a contender. And I don't know what they're going to do with quarterback next year. Not that I'm worrying about that right now, because I am going to the game Friday.
That's great. I'm very excited to hear that. You guys got good seats?
We have great seats. We'll be right on the goal line in the closed end on, I don't know what side that would be. Would that be like the west side?
Yeah, west side.
West side.
I'll keep my eye open. Are you going to be down near the field or like?
I think I'm like 3 rows up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually, what's the left tackle? Max Starks is usually trotting around down there by that.
Maybe
that area.
We'll see if we could get you the costume, the big beaver costume that Eddie Crow wears here at the station. You can put that on. That way we can notice you on TV.
That will not be happening. No. I'm going to go down. I'm probably going to watch the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said on your show the other day, I'm going to be watching the offensive line because, a lot of starters aren't playing. So what am I watching?
Yeah.
If I want to see what they're doing with the offensive line, we have so many young guys, first year, second year. I want to see what's going on with that offensive line.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I mean, you got to think from top to bottom. Right now, this first week, you're not going to see a lot of starters, but the things you do want to watch, we are going to, as you mentioned, the offensive line. I think that the linebackers are going to be interesting because you have all this new talent that's come in. The secondary that we just kind of rebuilt. There's a lot of things that you do want to see, and you have a very limited amount of time in this first preseason game. So, we'll be paying a lot of attention.
Now, will you be watching for, what is it, Beanie Bishop?
I certainly will. Beanie Bishop, yes.
Now here's the scouting report I have on Beanie Bishop.
Yeah.
Undersized, wants to prove something, can cover anybody in the slot, can't tackle.
Okay.
So that's the negative.
Yeah.
Can't tackle, and it is what it is. I mean, he's going to put on 10, 15 pounds, I'm sure, and if he can't make a tackle here and there, well, I guess that's on Fitzpatrick to make it.
I mean, do you think we have enough parts and pieces in the bucket where we could, make it work until week 8, week 9, whatever it is, till Cam Sutton gets back to play that slot corner? Do we have? I mean, we have other things to play with back there as well. We're not married to Beanie Bishop, so to speak. I've been hearing good things, but a lot of people are going to see action over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe somebody will surprise you. Maybe a couple of the young guys. What was his name that was hurt last year? 7th round pick. Tall guy.
Oh.
Yep. Totally lost his name.
Tight end?
No. Defensive back.
Oh, Corey Trice.
Trice, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Corey Trice, I'll be excited to see Corey Trice, see what he can do. And I think there's going to be maybe some depth there. Here's the problem, though. 17 games. What is there, 3 preseason games?
Yes.
I guess they're trying to get it down to 2 and then have 18 games eventually. 17, it's a long season. So the team that you are in September and October, that's not the team you are in December and January.
Correct.
So you've got to go through the attrition, all the injuries. So, I think they are a contender to win the division, especially getting Ayuk. If let's say the Browns got Ayuk, I mean, that would have been really bad.
Yeah, we're lucky that Brandon Ayuk had no interest in going to Cleveland. I don't blame him. But what's that?
Who would ever want to go to Cleveland?
But as you said, I mean, it's a long season, and I think with the Ayuk addition, if in fact it does all work out and happen, I think that puts us in a good place, Brian. I don't think that. Listen, I mean, there was a lot of negative to say about the Steelers last season. We got in there and we fixed a lot of these holes.
Yes.
And I got to be honest with you, we went 5-1 in the division last year. The only loss we had was on a field goal by Cleveland at the end of the game. Out of the 6 games we played in the division, that was the only loss. I don't think that we was that far outside of being a team that could win the AFC North. Not because we were so strong, but because, sometimes the AFC North could be that kind of division. You don't have to be the prettiest team. You don't have to be the team that does everything the best. The Baltimore Ravens and the Steelers, I think, signify that out of most every team. These two teams, they find ways to get it done.
I will say we did go 5-1 in the division, but we did play 5 games against backup quarterbacks.
Yes.
And we only won 4 of those.
With that, throughout the whole season, we played.
For our own division.
Oh, okay.
The only starting quarterback we played against was Lamar Jackson. We beat them.
That's the only one that counts. The only one that matters. I mean, come on, Deshaun Watson, this guy, and
I mean, I don't know anything about Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to be another bust again.
And Joe
with his head now.
Joe injury over in Cincy. I mean, come on,
Street Clothes Joe. That's what they're going to start calling him, Street Clothes Joe instead of Joe Cool.
But anyway, you slice it. Those are tough games, no matter what. And they found a way to grind it out and win 5 out of 6 division games. You got to like that.
So if we do get Brandon Ayuk, and he costs us, let's say, $30 million next year.
Yeah.
And does that mean Cam Hayward's gone?
Yes. I did see today that he fell off the priority list for contracts. I'm not exactly sure what that means in its entirety, but it sounds good to me.
It sounds great to me. That's all we need is a 37, 38-year-old guy that's injured and just falls on the pile during 7-yard runs.
I'm going to be honest with you. Early on in his career, I mean, rightfully so, people loved Cam for his football, and I agree with him 100%. Past 2-3 years, especially last year, coming off his biggest injury season, I don't feel that he's as productive as that money he's being paid, Brian. I think even if you get a younger guy in there, you could kind of start experimenting with things, but he's a big body. We like that. But besides for that, a lot of his tackles are running up on a pile when it's already there and falling on it.
Cam,
sorry.
if you're listening, did you ever get that IRS situation taken out with your foundation that, Mr. Generosity? Did you ever get that taken care of? I don't know if he ever did.
Anyway, he's not a bad guy. He's a Walter Payton Player of the Year. He does a lot of great charity here in the Western Pennsylvania area. I give him that. But at the end of the day, I'm ready to move beyond because he's taking up way too much money.
Nobody needs 37, 38-year-old guys. If you're not Tom Brady or another elite quarterback, you don't need to be playing at that age.
And you can't justify paying him that money to not...
Right, yeah, the senior league minimum.
Right.
Okay, that's one thing. But he wants what? Does he want 15, 16, 17 million? A year.
In his mind, he is... it's him and Aaron Donald and nobody else. So put that into consideration.
Oh, boy.
Out of his mouth.
I got to look at the tape. I got to look at all these tackles he got just falling on the pile, getting a half a tackle.
I think they said with the numbers from last year, he averaged 4 tackles a game. So keep your eye on Cam Hayward. I don't see it, but maybe it's happening.
I wonder what Casey Hampton averaged, because he was just known for taking on 2 or 3 guys and just freeing up the linebackers. What did Cam ever do? Did he ever get double teamed?
You know what? He doesn't anymore. I could tell you that.
Right. I'm not saying in his prime, but I'm saying the last couple of years, yes.
No, he's certainly been watered down. And as I was saying, he does that. He takes his guy from the line and creates up space for the linebackers, but it was nothing compared to what Casey Hampton was able to do.
Right. I was going to send you this video. It was this kid. He looked like he was maybe a freshman in high school, bigger kid. And he was on this hillside, and he was doing all these drills on camera, running around a tree and up and down. He was hot, and I was totally going to send it to you and say, this is what Cam needs to do in the offseason. I did not, though. I did not.
And that was cool. I would have liked that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you later. So the Steelers, they play this Friday versus the Houston Texans, not the Oilers, not the Astros that beat up the Pirates, but the Houston Texans. What do the Texans have coming into town?
Well, again, it's going to be a different conversation because it is preseason. But this Texans team, you got to like what they did last year, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
They destroyed Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns in the first round of the playoffs. They made it to the second round, lost
What
to
did they do
Baltimore.
against us?
Tennessee, Texas, I'm sorry, they beat us pretty good, I think,
Yeah,
early on.
C.J. Stroud looked like Joe Montana against us, correct?
Yes. He was one of those few games where somebody came in and really picked us apart.
I don't recall T.J. Watt having any sacks that game either.
I'm not sure.
I'm positive. I'm currently making a YouTube video about him. It's exciting. It's exciting. So next week I will be on vacation, so we will not have a show next week. But coming back from there, we will have more sponsors. So I'm excited about that. Ryan, what do you want to talk about after the break? Do you want to get into the Buccos?
No.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Steelers some more then.
I think we should. I mean, they're the big topic right now. A lot of people want to hear. People are just ready for football, Brian. People are ready for football.
You don't like the 500 Pirates anymore?
It's in our blood. I mean, the Pirates are done.
They are done. Dunzo.
We'll get more into that
gonzo.
because I do have some opinions on that as well.
All right, we will get into that when we come back. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM. We'll be right back to One Man's Opinion
Has
on
your
sports.
classic car or hot rod seen better days? Just call me, Dave Rodenbaugh, and my team at the Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company. The full-service hot rod shop offers it all. Everything from custom fabrication and restoration to regular maintenance and collision repair. With over 40 years of experience, there isn't a job too big or too small. The Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company's enclosed trailer service ensures safe transit for your ride during any season. The Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company is located at 6th Street in Beaver Falls. Visit pahotrod.com or call 412-719-4950.
Hey, can you imagine trying to hit a fastball or throwing a runner out at home? It's hard to think of doing these things under perfect circumstances, let alone with the distraction and discomfort of dental issues. Regular dental care from Dr. C. Timothy Lip can improve your productivity, happiness, and focus, even if you're not in the big leagues. Dental problems affect more than just your teeth. Visit lipdentistry.com or Dr. C. Timothy Lip Family Dental Offices on College Hill and Robinson Township.
Back to school season means back to your credit union season. Before you pack the lunchbox, be sure and pack your wallet. Visit Friendly Federal Credit Union and get the cash supply you'll need so that you can buy the school supplies that they will need. This is Cindy Hilario. Stop into the principal's office and see me to sign up for an easy-to-manage personal signature loan. They're now available from $500 to $10,000 with approved credit. Friendly Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, equal housing lender.
This is Andy Toole, men's basketball coach at Robert Morris University, here to talk about my friends at Falcone Moon Township Ford. I know what it takes to win a basketball game. It begins with practice and a team of players who want to win. The same is true of the team at Moon Township Ford. Professionals who will win you over. They'll find the best rate and terms on a car loan to help you get the best deal. Make a fast break and avoid the roadblocks that stop you from finding the car you want. Go where I go. Moon Township Ford.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. He's ready to take your calls at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Also, make sure you check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. They do roofing replacement, windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior modeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. All right, we were talking a little Tanner McKee, a little Brandon Ayuk last segment. What do you say we talk about the offensive line, Ryan?
Yeah, I like that.
That is my biggest concern going into week one versus the Falcons. Now, we host the Hotlanta Falcons.
Do we host them or we go down there? I do not remember.
I don't know. We play them. I know that.
For some reason, I'm thinking we go down there, but I could be wrong.
Could be right, could be right, could be wrong. So, are any of these offensive linemen part of this trade, do you know?
You know what? At this point, I did not hear, but as I said early on, the word was there were linemen and packages being ready. I heard the name James Daniel be thrown around. I heard
Dan
Moore Jr. was the other one, and also Calvin Austin the third. His name was being thrown around early on, but again, the later news that I've heard, those names weren't included, so I don't know yet.
What are the names you heard since that? Because I heard, basically, here's what I heard. We were going to give them Dan Moore, Daniels, Freiermuth, Austin, and like a second rounder, and they like laughed because that's like us giving them all of our bad players.
Right, for
their very good player.
Early on, it was those names that I named earlier, James Daniels, Dan Moore, et cetera, et cetera. A little bit later, the name Pat Freiermuth that you just mentioned was also thrown in there. I also heard they had interest in George Pickens at one point.
Yes, I heard that.
Again, swirling rumors, just trying to keep an eye on it all day online. These are the things that I've heard, but there's no confirmation yet. What we do know is there is a verbal agreement. This is multiple sources now, and they're just trying to figure out details, and that's where they're at.
Do you think we'll hear about this today, or do you think it's going to linger for a day or two?
From what I was reading, we could know as early as today till the end of the week, sometime in that period of time. And
oh boy,
yeah. But from what I understand, though, I listen. The Browns were in the race early, the Patriots were in the race early, and the Commanders were in the race early for this guy. We do know that the Patriots are out. They said that they're looking forward to working with their new young receivers. Right. We pass. We know that the Cleveland Browns are out because Brandon Ayuk has no interest in going there. The Commanders' name kind of dissipated over time, and it's been Steelers and
why does no other team want them? Like it sounded like three bad teams and us.
Other teams got their guy. Here's the thing: if you need that, it's a lot more magnified. We know we need a top 1-2 receiver. Other teams, they have their guys. Miami has their receivers. Cincinnati has their receivers, and maybe the other teams just aren't in a position to make that kind of move.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so back to the offensive line. What do we got to do to get Dan Moore out of the starting five? Should we start a petition? Should we go to training camp? Should we go down to the south side? What do we have to do to petition this?
Veto power. You know what? It's going to be difficult to do that at first, Brian. I think with this offensive line being so young, and there's going to be a lot of shifting and plugging and placing, and it's going to be a little while. I do believe that he will be in this offensive line for a little while.
Okay, so you're thinking Dan Moore Jr. starting at left tackle to start the season, you're thinking? Week 1.
I don't know yet. Again,
this is all everybody stays healthy.
Right. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see how the guys
50-50?
play in preseason. I'm not sure. We haven't seen them play one down yet.
Preseason doesn't matter. Well, look at Kenny Pickett last preseason.
But we will have a better idea 3 weeks from right now than we will right now. So
I think they're going to trade for Tanner McKee. That's what I heard. The Steelers are going to trade for Tanner McKee, the Stanford gem. He's just beating out small hands Kenny Pickett over there on the other side of the state. Siamalu, left guard, going to start. Probably our best offensive lineman.
Absolutely.
What about this Herbig-Frazier battle at center?
I think that Frazier's eventually going to be your guy. He's probably going to be the guy for a long period of time here in Pittsburgh, if things work out, of course. But I do think that Herbig's going to be in the mix a lot early on. And again, we're going to see a lot of that switching and moving and plugging and playing here in the preseason. So it's hard to tell at this point.
So you're saying I might have to stay past halftime on Friday to see all this plug and play with the offensive line? Because out of everybody, that's typically who plays the most.
Yes.
Just to get some, cohesiveness, I guess would be the word. Okay, so Daniel's assuming that he is not getting traded. He's probably going to start at right guard.
More than likely.
Okay. Then what are we doing here at right tackle?
You're probably going to have last year's
Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones. I think he has to be able to start at tackle at some point, and it's more than likely going to be right at first, even though coming into the league as a left.
Man, I just think they're really messing this up. Just go with all the young guys. If Daniels is that much better than McCormick, which I understand McCormick was like a mid-round selection. But when you have high second round and first rounders, especially one that you traded up to get, put them in, let them just figure it out the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like what's stand on the sideline watching? How does that help you? I don't know. In any sport I ever played, me standing there and watching the other people practice never helped me.
Right.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but not even close to getting out there and messing up and messing up and messing up and then getting it right.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And we just might see that, Bryan. You don't know. We might see, again, this is game one, week one. You get the season ticket package. This is the game one on the ticket. We're going to see. We're going to take a look what they put out there on Friday. We might like it. We might not like it. But we do know one thing. As time goes on, we will learn a little bit more. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
You know who I do like that I don't think anybody else does? Van Jefferson.
Okay.
I think Van Jefferson's going to be a solid contributor to the offense.
I hope you're right.
I really hope I'm right, because if I'm wrong, then we could be in big trouble. But I think that he's a good, not a top 30, but maybe a top 50 receiver in the league, and get him the tosses, see if he can produce.
And he's catching 600 balls a day after Antonio Brown's work regimen, from what I understand. He's catching 600 balls. Besides for practice.
Is he throwing any couches off of the...
He's got some time to work on that.
What else? Speaking of AB.
Yeah.
AB's one of my favorite people on the planet.
Okay.
When he was at Pittsburgh and Le'Veon Bell was here, I actually stopped watching the Steelers for 2 seasons because I could not stand these guys and the fact that they were still employed by the Steelers.
Yeah.
And I kept telling everybody, these guys are just awful humans. They're terrible. I'm not going to watch. And then everybody told me I'm a hater and he's the best running back and he's the best wide receiver. And then a year and a half later, they caught up with what I was saying. But him on Twitter, it's like gold every time. It is so bad. It is like the worst car wreck where everybody survives, but it's still, he is the best on social media.
Yeah, he's certainly entertaining. I wouldn't, your children are in earshot. I wouldn't let them look at his Twitter page with you. But yeah, it is very entertaining to say the least, Bryan.
Yes. Well, moving around the offense here, I guess the next thing is Najee.
Yeah.
James Warren. What do you see happening there in the preseason, I guess, and then the first couple weeks?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun with these two guys, Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. I like them both, and they both have such different styles of run, and I think that goes very well together. With Arthur Smith coming in and putting this new offense together, bringing in, again, pieces on the offensive line that's going to make a difference one way or another, especially early on. But I really look forward to seeing Najee and Jalen Warren run the football.
Now, do you think it's going to be close to like a 50-50 split?
It's going to be
like where some games somebody's doing better than the other guy, and then they get more carries or more
the thing
touches.
about these two, I don't think that they have a preference. I think that they feel comfortable going out with either one of these guys any given play and running what it is that they want to run. They're very comfortable. They're very confident. And I got to be honest with you, if this offensive line can hold it together enough, I think that these two are going to have a really, really good season.
Yeah, hopefully Dan Moore tweaks an ankle or something, the hamstring, because hamstrings last like 8 weeks, so maybe a little
Right.
Dan, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm not wishing anybody bad luck, but just maybe a little tight hammy. You'll still get your paycheck, sir. But here's my thing.
Yeah,
I've seen Warren go out there and dominate a quarter, a half, half a game. I've also seen him go out there and put the ball on the ground.
Yeah,
I've seen Harris run and get like 1 yard a carry. And then I've seen other times where he just puts his head down and runs over people.
Yeah.
So to me, it's kind of like just give them both carries and kind of go with the flow, Tomlin.
I think that's what it is. In my opinion, you're sitting there and you're watching both of these guys. At the end of the day, one might say, well, you know what? I like the way that Jalen Warren runs. But at the end of the day, Najee has these sneaky numbers. You look at his numbers after 3 seasons, and he has 3 1,000-yard seasons. You can't go wrong with either one of these running backs.
Right. Now, here's a guy I'm not very high on. I know your homeboy Mike loves him because he's a Penn State guy. Pat Freiermuth.
No, you're not a big fan, huh?
I just don't see it. He's no Heath Miller. He can't block. What he had 1 game where he had like 9 catches last season, and I get it. He's had terrible quarterbacks the past couple of years. Totally get that, but he's never there any game.
I think that you're going to see certainly he's going to be another position that you see an increase in production this year, because hopefully we're going to be able to utilize him more with a better quarterback. And again, coming back to this Arthur Smith offense, Brian, it's going to be something different. We're going to, I think we're going to be thrown a little bit, because we got used to winning with the Ben Roethlisberger's arm over, 18, 20 years period. Now we're going to have to step back a little bit and watch how Arthur Smith's offense works. Pretty much a whole different kind of style of play.
Now, sophomore season, Darnell Washington, do you see him getting more than 2 balls thrown to him like he did last season?
Yes. Yeah, I do think you will see more.
Do you see him being a big part of the run game too?
Possibly. I mean, as you mentioned, Pat Freiermuth isn't the greatest run blocker. Mm-hmm. They may use these guys in different ways, because we do have that luxury. You have 2 nice big tight ends. You could use them in different ways, and I do think you will see him being used in running situations and pass plays as well.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we do have to go to break. We will be back in less than 2 minutes. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 and 1230 AM. We'll be right back to One Man's Opinion on Sports.
Looking for a great job opportunity? McDonald's now has full-time and part-time positions available to fit your lifestyle and needs. Set up your own hours and have a lot of fun too. Whatever your situation is, McDonald's has a place for you. Apply today at mchire.com. McDonald's is here for you. I'm loving it.
One of the greatest honors a person can receive is to be gathered with their people at the time of their passing. Even biblical authors, when they wanted to explain what it meant to have lived a great, prosperous, and meaningful life, spoke of the individual as having lived a long time and being gathered with friends and relatives near as they closed out their twilight years. Being gathered together with loved ones is something that the J&J Spratt Funeral Home takes very seriously as well. The comfort both given and received cannot be underestimated. J&J Spratt Funeral Home also knows that the honor shown to a loved one at their time of need in this manner is still the right thing to do today. J&J Spratt Funeral Home has been gathering together with area families for 4 generations and looks forward to honoring future residents deserving of being gathered together with friends and family. Click jjspratfh.com.
Hey, can you imagine trying to hit a fastball or throwing a runner out at home? It's hard to think of doing these things under perfect circumstances, let alone with the distraction and discomfort of dental issues. Regular dental care from Dr. C. Timothy Lip can improve your productivity, happiness, and focus, even if you're not in the big leagues. Dental problems affect more than just your teeth. Visit lipdentistry.com or Dr. C. Timothy Lip Family Dental Offices on College Hill and Robinson Township.
Nowadays, it seems like everyone is looking for words of wisdom that will really move them. Well, while I've always considered myself somewhat of a great orator, I realize this has to be about more than just my own eloquence. This is Andy Dengel from Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Listen up. If you want to get moved, start with us. Whether it's moving Junior back to college or moving around in a new vehicle, make the move to the place where the interest has always been in you. Freedom United Federal Credit Union. If you've been moved to tears at the sight of tiresome paperwork and high interest rates at other places, move it on over today and apply for a loan suited for what you need at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Loan based on credit approval. Stop in for special details, rates, and information. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch the Best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every Thursday from 11 to 11:30. The program is made possible by St. Barnabas. For over 3 years now, the show has been dedicated to shining light on the great things going on right here in your neighborhood and the people that are making it happen. This Thursday, enjoy conversation and insight from an intriguing lineup of guests who are creating excitement and having an impact right here in Beaver County.
Your friends and neighbors at St. Barnabas are pleased to support the best of Beaver County. The radio broadcast will also be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. As you can tell, I've kind of toned down my excitement because we're probably going to be getting into some Pirates talk here, and it's just so depressing. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. He's ready to take your calls at 724-774-1888 or 724-843-1888. Yes, we're going to be talking Pirates here this next segment. It's very depressing. Also, make sure you check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. They do roofing replacement, windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior modeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. Your Pittsburgh Pirates.
500.
Right at 500.
Here we are, Brian. It is August 7th. The Pittsburgh Pirates are at 500.
You know who's playing well? Nick York.
Is he?
Down in AAA, batting .381 with an on-base percentage of .440. 6 games. I understand it's 6 games. He's a second baseman / left fielder. I don't know how you play those two different positions, but no home runs from him, but he's somebody to... He was probably the person I thought, like, this was the best thing we got in the whole trade, to be honest with you, Ryan. I knew it wasn't going to help us out anytime soon, but you know who else didn't help us out anytime soon?
Who's that?
What's his name? IDC? I don't care. What's his name?
IKF.
Oh, IKF.
Yes.
IKF. He had a nice play at short the other day.
Yeah.
He had a nice glove side or backhand. And then who's this other jabroni we got? Bryan with a Y.
Oh, here we go.
Bryan with a Y. What is it? De La Cruz?
Yes.
And he's 3 for 22, 0 home runs. Now, what did I say when we made these trades and everybody said, oh, the Pirates, they went and they upgraded and they're going to make a run here? I said these two guys we got strike out, don't get on base, and they don't hit for a high average. Well, I guess ID
yeah.
I don't care does, but he doesn't normally do that. So since they went with the Pirates, it's been all downhill.
Have we won any games since they've been here?
We did win one.
We won one.
We won one, yes. It was a game 3. I think we came back against, was it the Astros?
No, I don't. You know what I know when the game was? It was the middle of this past series that we just played.
Was it against the, it was against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we did win 2 against the Diamondbacks in our last 6. So let me just tell you a little bit. The Phillies have just plummeted. They're 3-7 in their last 10. The Brewers, 4-6 in their last 10. The Dodgers, 4-6 in their last 10. However, the Padres and Diamondbacks, 8-2, both of them, their last 10. Who have they been playing?
The Pirates.
Yeah, that's all you need. You want to get on that winning streak and get into contention to win your division, you just play those buccos. Quick question, Ryan.
Yeah.
Does it rain in Western PA?
Has it rained?
Does it rain, typically?
Sometimes.
Does it rain hard sometimes? So if you were like the grounds crew or maybe you were designing PNC Park, would you maybe put a couple drains to allow the water to leave the field? Or would you not put drains in and have over 2 hours of no rain, but still a foot of water out at the warning track?
Guys, 30 guys out there with squeegees. That's a, come on, that is a great question. And my question is this, O'Brien. I, of course, wondered this myself. Is it always like that when it rains up there? Is it all, when they have rain delays, or if it's, just rains anytime during the week? Is this always a problem on the warning track? Because I've never seen that issue here.
Okay, so one time I've seen the grounds crew during a torrential downpour. They came out and they were putting the tarp over the infield. A couple of them went under the tarp and almost died.
Yeah.
And I saw Andrew McCutcheon lead the charge and save the grounds crew with a bunch of players going out there and getting the tarp up and getting the guys out. I've seen that. As far as they said that, here's the best part. It almost sounded like government, right? They're like, well, it rained so hard, some of the dirt went down and clogged the drains. You didn't know you had dirt?
Right.
At the warning track?
Like I said, come on, they opened this up in, April of 2001, 23 years ago. I never really noticed this as a problem, unless it's happened on times that I didn't know. But it sure seemed pretty bad yesterday. You're watching the game, you're kind of waiting for it to get started, and there were swimming pools out on the warning track.
I don't know if you've ever watched NASCAR.
Yes.
But Frank Sparks, big NASCAR guy, right?
Absolutely.
Here's all they needed was one of those big jets with the air dryer, whenever the track gets wet.
Yeah.
Just drive past the outfield, switch it back and forth. Instead of doing the pierogi race, just have this truck just go and dry up the field.
What is it, like a Roomba? It just kind of goes along the...
Yes.
That's what I'm picturing is the Roomba.
Yes. We needed that's what we needed. My mom was like, don't they have shop vacs, Mom? I'm like, Mom, I don't think you understand how much water is there.
You're right.
1 3-gallon shop vac. Like, what are they going to do? Then carry it over to the Allegheny and dump it in?
Did you see when the outfielder for San Diego went out there to start before they realized it was going to be an issue? He was showing with his hands. He was indicating the amount of water. It was about a good 8 to 10 inches that he was showing with his hand, and that's a lot of water for.
I'm surprised he didn't do the triple Lindy, like back to school and some Rodney Dangerfield jumping into it. So the Pirates, how many runs did they score last night, Ryan? Because it was late, and I started getting delusional.
They scored 0.
0.
Yeah.
0.0. That sounds like, yes.
0.0.
Yeah, that sounds like your Pirates. Like, here's a situation. O'Neal Cruz, I don't even think he's a shortstop. And he plays shortstop. How many times do I send you a text? There's 2 main texts I send you throughout Pirates games. When Skeens isn't pitching, because usually if it's Skeens, we're talking about, you know, Skeens. Okay, so the number 1 text is usually, why can't they hit it out of the infield?
Yes.
Right? That's typically multiple times. And then the other thing is, why can't Cruz throw it over to first? I don't understand how they want this guy to be a shortstop.
There's a few layers to this. Of course, O'Neal Cruz, he was out all of last year. I think, after 9 games into the season, he broke his ankle.
Because he doesn't know how to slide.
So that's, 98% of the season. In the year before that, he came in partial, played quite a few games. But you got to think, man, this is O'Neal Cruz's first long haul. I always go on and on about these long, hot summers for baseball players. It's a lot of travel. It's a lot of heat. And, and I kind of know where you're going to go. You're going to say he needs to, but on the other hand, he may be hitting that wall. He may be ready for, they didn't play him last night. They played IKF at his position. I think you'll see O'Neal Cruz back out there. But as the season went on, his strikeouts, they pile. And now you're seeing, like, as you're mentioning on defense, the stupid plays, the plays that are very makeable for him. And he throws the ball, off. It's
when I was 9 years old, Ryan.
Yeah,
I could throw the ball to the first baseman and hit him in the chest.
And I'm sure
9 out of 10 times.
And I'm sure
9 years old. 9 years old.
I'm sure Cruz can as well.
He's young. Like, he didn't play when he was 9 years old. Because I could throw the ball to the first baseman and hit him in the chest 9 out of 10 times.
One thing that I do know that he has never played 162 games or anything near that because of injuries in his first couple seasons. Any other player, you might say, well, he just hit that wall. Pitchers, he hit that wall. Why can't Cruz fall in that category?
I saw a play today. The Cubs were playing somebody while I was grabbing some early dinner before I came to the show, and there was a double play ball, and the second baseman, the shortstop fields the ball, throws to the second baseman, and he has all day because it was a hard hit ball to short, and he throws the ball over to first. Nice and easy. Went right to the first baseman's glove, right by his chest. O'Neal Cruz, the guy could be 10 steps away from first, and he wants to throw it 110 miles an hour, and he throws it into the dirt.
He does do that. It really reminds me, remember about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more, when Pedro Alvarez just forgot how to throw to first base.
He threw it to like the fifth row.
Yes. I mean, he was a third baseman for how long? And just out of nowhere, he forgot how to throw the ball to first. I don't know if it's a little bit of that. I don't know if it's, again, is he just worn at this point? His body never, did this?
I feel like you're picking on the Latinos right now.
I'm picking on the Latinos. Here's the thing. I really do like O'Neal Cruz. I'd like to see him improve, but them strikeouts, they got to go down. This guy's got to be able to hit a breaking ball. He's Pedro Serrano from the movie, what's the movie called? Major League. That's what he is.
I really want to make, maybe I'm going to do a YouTube video. All right, because I've created a YouTube page. I've got a bunch of things in the works. I have about 32 different YouTube videos I'm going to put out. I've written one so far. I've outlined about 10 of them. So it's a work in progress. I get Ryan just drank some stank water or something. I don't know what that was. All right, so maybe I'll do like a Major League, what was it, 1985 or whatever, that came out, 86. I'll do a Pittsburgh Pirates version of like, these guys stink, like I don't even know who these guys are. And maybe I'll do a little parody of the movie.
I think that'd be really funny because I think you could apply a lot of things to both teams. And I don't remember the last time I seen O'Neal Cruz hit a breaking ball.
Okay, now here's the thing. I see the breaking ball coming in, and this is the pitch that O'Neal Cruz cannot hit. It's coming in at the knees.
Inside.
You can see the rotation of the ball. It's rotating down. It's inside, and he is swinging to, I don't know, what's he going to do? Chip it over the first baseman's head? Is that like his big hope? And he whiffs on it every time. Like, dude, you see it's at the knees. It's gonna drop. It's not a fastball.
You can see the spin on TV. You know what I mean? That's how familiar you are with seeing the pitches that are thrown to O'Neal. It's really bad.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah, Major League, that's what we have here. We didn't even get into, they are just so bad. I mean, before we go to break here, because I don't want to talk about them anymore because it's very depressing. I mean, the Mets, they're losing. The Cardinals are 500. The Giants, the Diamondbacks, the Braves, and the Padres are on fire. And the Pirates are just, we're mediocre. We're going to keep it relevant, I guess, until the Steelers season starts, I guess, and that's the best we can hope for this year.
You know what? That's what I say every year, ever since I was a young kid in the early 90s. The last time the Pirates were really good before, of course, his last run. Get us to Steelers season. That's all we ask for. If you stay somewhat competitive till this time of year, they did their job.
All right, Ryan, real quick before we go to break. In 2013, the Pirates won a play-in game and played a 5-game series against the Cardinals. 2014 and 2015, they also made the playing games. In 15, they had 98 wins. Does this feel like the 2011 or 2012 Pirates, where they're like kind of there 2/3 of the way through the season and then they just fall off because they don't have enough?
There's similarities between the two teams. Let me ask you. Can I answer that with a question?
You can always do whatever you want.
So 2013, your pitchers were A.J. Burnett. I was thinking about this the other day, and if I don't ask you now, I'll forget it forever. A.J. Burnett, Francisco Liriano, and Garrett Cole were their 1, 2, 3 pitchers on that particular team. Now, again, we mentioned there's some similarities between that team that went to the playoffs and this team. Of course, this team's still a little early on, but our top 3 guys right now are Mitch Keller, Paul Skeens, and Jared Jones. Which of the 2 groups of pitchers, of starting pitchers, would you rather have on your team? Maybe answer the question when we come back.
Whenever we come back, I will answer that question. And you guys have been listening to One Man's Opinion on Sports on WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM.
The warm weather is back, and that can only mean one thing. Pirates baseball for a 76th season is on Beaver County Radio. Make sure you set your radio dial to WBVP and 99.3 FM. Pirate baseball is being presented locally by the St. Barnabas Health System, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Keystone Wellness Program, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Town Square Restaurant, and Beaver County Radio.
Beaver County Radio, your hometown radio station. You're listening live from the Fry Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation, proud to call Beaver County home.
Back to school season means back to your credit union season. Before you pack the lunchbox, be sure and pack your wallet. Visit Friendly Federal Credit Union and get the cash supply you'll need so that you can buy the school supplies that they will need. This is Cindy Hiladio. Stop into the principal's office and see me to sign up for an easy-to-manage personal signature loan. They're now available from $500 to $10,000 with approved credit. Friendly Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, equal housing lender.
Has your classic car or hot rod seen better days? Just call me, Dave Rodenbaugh, and my team at the Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company. The full-service hot rod shop offers it all. Everything from custom fabrication and restoration to regular maintenance and collision repair. With over 40 years of experience, there isn't a job too big or too small. The Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company's enclosed trailer service ensures safe transit for your ride during any season. The Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company is located at 6th Street in Beaver Falls. Visit pahotrod.com or call 412-719-4950.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome back to on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. Make sure you guys check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. They do roofing replacement, windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior modeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. Ryan, before the break, you asked me if I would rather have, what was it, Garrett Cole.
All right, so from the 2013 playoff team, the top three pitchers on our rotation were A.J. Burnett, Francisco Liriano, and Garrett Cole. Right now, we have a pretty impressive group of guys as well. Number 1, 2, 3 in this rotation on the current Pirates team is Mitch Keller, Paul Skeens, and Jared Jones.
I would much rather have this pitching staff. 2 reasons. 1, I love that old, but they never got it done. They didn't get it done against the Cardinals. Jones or Garrett Cole and AJ Burnett did not get it done against the Cardinals, and I believe Paul Skeens is going to be better than all 3 of those pitchers combined. So if Jones and Keller are half of what those guys are, I like that. One thing real quick before I want to talk about the Olympics super quick, and then we're going to get back into some Steelers talk and what they have coming up this preseason. But I have a political question for you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Now, we're a republic. I talk about this a lot. We're not a democracy. We're a republic.
Of course.
And what we do is we go and we vote during a primary, right? And what we do is we vote a certain way, and then there's delegates that decide what candidate that we voted for that they're going to elect as the presidential candidate.
Correct.
Has anybody voted for Kamala Harris?
No.
Now, what's this? Waltz? What's this dude's name?
I believe it's Walz.
Walz, yes, with a Z.
Yes.
The guy that was all for the destruction of every city in his state. Has anybody voted for him?
No.
Now, I don't want to get into politics, right wing, left wing, center, this, that, the other thing. I don't care about that. But how? This sounds like communism to me, that the Democrats are just telling you who your candidate is versus you deciding who your candidate is. Kamala Harris, when she ran for president in 2020, she was polling at under 1% and had to drop out of the race.
Yes.
Nobody's voted for this. Like, this is not, I don't like it. I feel like this is like the Soviet Union in the 1960s, and they're just saying, this is who we're going to shove down your throat.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, from what I understand, the Democrats, they do this quite regularly. I wasn't familiar with that. That is something that I did see on the news.
Well, in 2016, Bernie Sanders won the primary, and they were like, well, we can't have some crazy Bernie Sanders be the. So we're going to have super delegates And then Hillary Clinton became the nominee. So I don't like it. I don't want to talk about politics here because this is a sports show, but I just had to put that out there that this is not democracy, which obviously is not a democracy, but no way, shape, or form is this democracy. This is not a republic. This is people in power telling you who's going to rule you. Well, and I don't like it.
These guys haven't won anything yet, though. I mean, on the other hand, at the end of the day, they do have to get the votes to win.
Let's just say I don't like Trump.
Okay.
I don't like J.D. Vance.
Right.
I don't like either one. I hate them. But still, do I have to vote for them just because I don't want these people that are forced down my throat?
I'm sure there's going to be libertarians and other people on the ballot as well. I mean,
I'm a libertarian. Our guys never win. They get like 1 to 3% of the vote.
But you know what?
And the guy, the libertarian, he's like anti-gun, and I'm like, what?
Oh wow!
Like, how is a libertarian anti-Second Amendment? I don't get it.
Right.
All right, we got way off topic. I just kind of wanted to put that in there that nobody has voted for Kamala Harris and what's this guy's first name? Tim Walt.
Is it Tim?
Walls?
I don't know. Walls.
Yeah. They're both psychos.
I mean, I'm not going to comment because this could be a conversation that goes on forever and ever and ever. Again, we only have so many minutes left. It is a sports show.
It is a sports show.
Let's talk about what's important, huh?
Yes. So the Steelers have a game coming up. I'm going to be going to the game. I know that a lot of starters aren't playing. Who did Tomlin say that's sitting out? Basically, Russell Wilson. Is Pickens sitting out? What's the Patrick Queen sitting out? I believe TJ Watt's sitting out. Basically, all the big names. I would assume Hayward's sitting out, Highsmith, Fitzpatrick. Now, why I'm going is because I want to watch the offensive line and see who's playing, how good these guys are live. I'll be about 3 rows up. My friend Gary Kidd is giving me his season tickets. I'm taking my daughter down to the game. The last time, Ryan, that my daughter went to a football game,
yes,
it was 15 years ago.
Okay.
15 years ago, she went to a game. She was 3 years old. And I wouldn't take her to a regular season game because it's too rowdy, too many people drinking, whatever. So we went to the preseason game, and we watched the first half. I can't tell you what happened. I can't remember. And then the halftime show came up, and there was these dogs lined up at the 50-yard line, and there was people next to these dogs, and somebody would take a Frisbee and whip the Frisbee from the 50-yard line into the end zone, and when they would release their Frisbee, the dog would run from the 50-yard line, jump up in the end zone, and catch a touchdown. My daughter was infatuated with that.
I don't blame her.
So I don't know if they'll be letting the dogs out again for this game, but I'll be there. Hopefully the weather's nice.
You know what? Preseason one, I've done that a couple times. It's a fun environment because you see people around you that are trying to get that Steeler thing going. You're walking up the ramps and people are, here we go, Steelers, and they're chanting. But then there's also an element that's missing. It's just not the regular season. It's just not meaningful. So when you go, it's a different feel.
Right.
Than preseason games.
So I'm excited to go. Who else did they play this preseason?
They got Buffalo next, and
didn't we play Buffalo last year in the preseason?
Yes.
And then did we play them in the playoffs?
Yes, we did.
What happened in the playoffs?
Not what happened in preseason, I could tell you that.
Yeah, didn't we rough them up in preseason and in the playoffs? I think we scored a field goal.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who I wanted to talk about real quick?
Yeah.
I have his name written down here somewhere. If I could find it, it is not him. Cameron Johnson.
The punter.
Our new punter.
Yes.
I've heard wonderful things about him. I heard not only can he kick the crap out of the ball, but he can also place it.
Yes.
So that's another thing. The punter's going to punt every time, so I'm going to look at, special teams. It's a third of the game, and a lot of people overlook it a lot. And last year and the previous couple years, we had, what was it, Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
And he would boom one, and then the next 4 would be 15 yards and out of bounds.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see Cameron Johnson.
Cameron Johnson, of course, I've been hearing a lot of things that are good as well. One of the things that's going to affect this team in this upcoming season, along with 31 other teams, is the kickoff rule being changed around. I don't know if you might have seen that, Bryan, last week.
It's similar to the XFL rule.
Very similar to the XFL. So we do have Cordell Patterson came up from Atlanta, a couple other people. I'm very excited to see what the special teams can do this year because, again, it's going to have a different dynamic. The kickoff is entirely different. And, again, with adding this addition at punter, it's going to be a lot of fun, Bryan.
I just got on my phone here real quick while you're telling that little tale.
Yeah.
Everybody on social media is just loving the show.
Okay.
It's amazing. Like they can't believe that every Wednesday they get to join us for some sports talk. Maybe we'll talk a little politics.
Yes.
So, Ryan, let me tell you, I have a YouTube channel coming up.
Okay.
You'll never guess the name of it.
What is the name of it?
One Man's Opinion.
No.
It is. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breaking down some videos on TJ Watt and how he doesn't play the run. I'm going to be doing a video on Major League Baseball and the umpiring being poor. I'll be doing some basketball videos on some. So I'm going to be hitting all of the major sports and maybe even like some Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
What's the other girl's name? Angel Reese. I'll be hitting some of that, maybe some Olympic stuff. So I'm going to be putting out videos once a week. I got to figure out the time because I'm going to do it the same time every week, and then hopefully ramp that up to 2 times a week, 3 times. 4
that
times.
sounds really cool, man.
Now, the other thing I'm going to be doing is every Sunday morning at 10 a.m., I will be co-hosting a, what do we want to say? It's like a tailgating, informational 1 hour to maybe 2 hour commentary with yours truly here and Ryan Garazunas. Yes, we every Sunday, 10 a.m. before the NFL season, whether the Steelers play at 1 or if they play on Monday night or whatever, we'll still do it at 10 o'clock every Sunday. So make sure you check out the Two Dumb Yinzers to follow it live. And also make sure you check out One Man's Opinion to follow it live. You can follow it on either or. And then also every Monday through Friday, Ryan, you host, what is it?
Yes, the Two Dumb Yinzers.
Yes.
You can tune in, check out a scoop about the Steelers, the Pirates, Penguins, pretty much anything Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh related. You can check us out every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can check us out on YouTube or follow us also on Facebook. And the website is www.thetwodumbYinzers.com.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are going to be back in 2 weeks. I just want to let you know that during the NFL season, we will be here from 5 to 7, not just 5 to 6, but during the NFL season, we will be here to One Man's Opinion on sports with me and Ryan Garazunas every Wednesday from 5 to 7. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
You've been listening to One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale on Beaver County Radio. Don't forget, you can watch the show on WBVP-WMBA Facebook page anytime. Tune in next Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale on Beaver County Radio. You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas. In addition